place to find your arms. So anyway, we're voice actors, and we've also directed before, and this man to my left has written before, and I have music directed before. My name's Brina Palencia.
My name is Cason. Please remain seated. It's my birthday on Sunday. I'm excited. All right, there I said it. And now that that whole thing is done, who's got the questions?
All right. Yeah, technology works for me.
What's that like?
I don't know. It doesn't happen often.
Neither.
I don't know whether you pull pranks, Chris, but I know, Brina, you play a lot of pranks, especially on Tatum. Do y'all have any ideas for pranks that might happen this weekend?
Okay, here's the thing is that I can't prank Tatum again until he pranks me, because I've already pranked him brilliantly twice, and he has yet to get me back. At this point, if I prank him again, then I'm just a bully. That's not fun. So I'm waiting for him to prank me back so that I can retaliate tenfold. So you guys should really encourage him to prank me.
I love it. Well, let's see. Yeah, and I hate pranks of all kinds either way. Because to me, a joke is when two people are laughing, and a prank is when you are. Like, well, that's not all right. But, I mean, it's been pretty, yeah, they've done multiple pranks, and who else is a prank? I believe Sabbath is a pretty good prankster.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw on Facebook recently, but Sean Schemmel finally figured out our prank.
I heard about that.
Chris Sabat and my husband and I have all been playing a prank on Sean Schemmel that has lasted for a year?
That's impressive.
I think it's been about a year. Close to a year, at least. And it also involved us breaking into his place, but it was his hotel room whenever he was in town recording for DBZ Kai, and Chris Sabat had checked him into the hotel for him before he got there, and so, of course, got an extra key and gave it to my husband and I. So while they were recording, my husband and I went to his room and strategically placed things in his suitcases and stuff, and sort of like slightly rearranged things in his hotel room so he knew that something was askew and off. But the one thing that stuck out the most to him that he always talks about was that we found his jeans on the floor, and we put a kazoo in his pocket. And we did a lot of other stuff, which he has never mentioned before, but for whatever reason, the kazoo really affected him. So we talked about this kazoo for a long time. And so the next time he was in town, which was several months later, we did the same thing. This time, it was just me, and I went into his hotel room, and Chris had one of those old handheld recorders or whatever that had the little mini tape in it, and he recorded me saying, "El kazoo está aquí, el kazoo está en todas partes," which in Spanish, or in English, means the kazoo is here, the kazoo is everywhere. Put that in his backpack in a pocket that didn't look like it had really been used very often, so he didn't find it until like 2 months later, and posted all over Facebook about it, like totally freaked out, and like had his neighbor come over who was Puerto Rican and like asked her to translate for him, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is about the kazoo." He was convinced that he was like on some sort of mission from God about this kazoo, and that's what he believed for a really long time. And I don't remember what it was that made him find. Because Chris Sabat's an idiot, and he has been telling everybody at conventions that we've been doing this, like, I guess not realizing that people would go back and tell Sean Schemmel. So a fan told Sean Schemmel, like, that it was a prank. which totally lame, by the way.
I know nobody here would have done that. No.
But
What was that
yeah,
weird noise that happened?
I don't know. I think it's because I touched this cord. Anyway.
That's everything.
Don't touch it again.
So that's how he found out, which makes me really upset because I was really hoping that we would have some excuse for him to come back down and record for something else, and then have like some sort of final crazy, like fill the entire room with kazoos or something. I really wanted that to happen, but then Chris Sabat had to go and tell the world about it before we were done.
Do it anyway.
By the way, so what did the judges think of that story? I thought this was the oh, it's in the middle. Okay, this is a good panel of judges to me. Wow, we'll try to do better. I mean,
Yeah, we'll do better next time.
but by the way, I think that solves the mystery of why was he focused on the kazoo? Because there was a Spanish incantation about it in the podcast.
No, but that's why we did the incantation about the kazoo, was because that's all he would talk about was the kazoo.
After, okay.
Yeah, and so we're like, well, if we do a message about anything, it has to be the kazoo.
The kazoo is everywhere. You were the question.
Hi. I have just a couple quick questions. One's a serious one and one's a funny one.
Wait, let's see. Which one do we want first? Let's do the serious one first.
I know that you two have done serious characters, and I was wondering, how did you put such emotion in some serious characters that you do have voice?
Okay. Being awesome, check. That's really it. Once you get past, how do you put emotion into serious work?
Like kind of like your own feeling, like your own personality, like for a serious character. Like I know, like for Miss Palencia, I know for CL, because he's really, really dark character for a 12-year-old. So I was just
Or a 40-year-old.
So I was just wondering how you put so much of your own emotion into a character that's already drawn, it's already been developed.
Well, for me, just in any capacity, whether it be for anime or, film or stage, I don't necessarily approach my comedic characters and my serious characters all that differently, because with comedic characters, usually they do not think they are funny. They take themselves very seriously. So I feel in order to achieve that, you also have to take yourself very seriously as that character. So I never try to play the funny whenever I'm doing a funny character. So I tend to play it the same way that I do a serious role. It just so happens that the subject matter is typically significantly more hilarious than the subject matter of, like in Black Butler, losing your parents and trying to avenge their death. That's a little more intense. So for me, it's really not that different. I think it just happenstance that the subject matter ends up being funnier. I always take each character very seriously and try to play it as, real as possible.
I do exactly what Brina does, and it totally works for me too. Actually, they say that comedy, by the way, you were talking about approaching it seriously. They say comedy is approaching a ridiculous situation seriously and a serious situation ridiculously, and I think that happens a lot. So I definitely get what you just said about that. Also, when you're playing a villain, especially, a villain's the same example, where a villain doesn't know that they are bad. They're doing things they think is right that happen to be bad. The only other difference might be that a villain often laughs a lot. Villains love to laugh at how awesome their plans are working more than a hero. Hero doesn't really laugh at their awesome plans, but villains do. So, and villains also kill and eat people too, which is awesome. So what is your, quote, funny question?
Well, my funny/fun question is, what are your top 5 Disney movies?
Oh, snap.
Mine would be The Phantom Menace. That was hilarious.
I can tell you mine if you want.
That might help. Go ahead. What are yours?
Number 5 would have to be Mulan. Number 4 would have to
You promised.
Okay, I'll start from number 1 and then work my way down. Number 1 is The Lion King. Number 2 would have to be Robin Hood. Number 3 would have to
Oh man, doesn't get talked about enough. I
It
love the
doesn't.
rooster.
So good.
Rapping
Yeah,
Neil
she's so
Young. Yeah.
beautiful. There's so many quotable things in that.
The family that shaves together, pays together. I love that.
Number 3 would have to be the Aristocats, and number 4 is Oliver and Company.
Snap it.
Number five is
Animated or live action Disney?
doesn't matter.
Alright, let's see.
Disney Pixar, does that count?
That counts.
Okay. Wall-E would probably be.
I love
I
Wally.
love Lion King. I really love Sleeping Beauty. Although it is very sexist. I still really like it though. I loved Maleficent.
Wendy Powell.
Yes.
She could do it so easily.
Wendy Powell would rock at Maleficent.
Yeah.
What else?
Condor Man. I've seen it.
Beauty and the Beast. I love Beauty and the Beast.
As old as rhyme. By the way, the expansion that they did at Disney World right now, they expanded Fantasyland. It's one of the most expensive expansions they've ever done, and one of them is the Beauty and the Beast Be Our Guest restaurant, and it looks awesome.
I believe you.
Chandeliers, and yeah, I'm not